Alexander Volkanovski was born Macedonian and Greek descent in New South Wales, Australia. When he was around 12 years old, he trained Roman Greco wrestling and actually ended up winning a national title not once, but twice. However, when he was 14 years old, he gave up wrestling to pursue a career in rugby as a front rower. He ended up playing for a semi-professional team called the Warilla Gorillas, which is a weird name. Volk was only 5'6", going up against guys that were way bigger than him. However, Volk would actually hold his own against these bigger dudes and outperform them. He'd also get into a couple other scuffles. One dude, for example, named Shrek, was a foot taller than Volk. He was so tall to where Volk had to jump to punch his head. However, Volk didn't really care how big of a guy you were and would just scrap with you anyway. I think this foreshadowed Volkanovski's potential as a fighter. He kept on pursuing rugby, where in 2010 he was rewarded the Mick Cronin Medal. He also played a crucial role in winning his team the premiership season and received the Man of the Match award for his performance in the team's grand final victory over Goringong. Things were going pretty well for Volkanovski in his rugby career. However, he felt like he accomplished all that he wanted in rugby. He's talked about how he's never going to make it big in rugby. He was still pro, but not at the highest level. And with how competitive Volkanovski is, he wanted to be at the top of something. And this is where MMA piqued his interest. This was a huge change for Volk, to where people in his life would question him. I mean, he gave up competing in a decent crowd and making money in order to pursue MMA. However, this is what makes Volkanovski so special: his mindset. He genuinely believes if he puts his mind into it, he can achieve anything. And so Volkanovski started to pursue MMA at the age of 22. MMA for Volk is obviously a completely newer sport compared to rugby, and he'd end up competing against those who have been competing since they were kids. However, again, Volkanovski has a very strong mindset that would pave the way in MMA. At the time of starting MMA, he was 215 pounds, which is just ridiculous considering now he's a featherweight. He competed in multiple amateur bouts and was phenomenal with his counter striking as well as his wrestling. He competed from middleweight to welterweight to lightweight, and then finally he made his way towards featherweight, which is again crazy that he first competed at middleweight. However, he went on a tear outside of the UFC, going 13-1 before signing with the organization. He went on a big 6-win streak in the UFC before winning the title at just the age of 29, 7 years after deciding to pursue MMA. And we all know his story from there, defending his belt 5 different times. And by now, despite the devastating back-to-back losses, Volkanovski is still more hungry than ever to regain the title against Diego Lopez. By now, Volk at the age of 36 could still retire, but it's his competitive nature and mindset that have kept him in the game for so long. Volkanovski became the UFC featherweight champion despite what people would consider late. Some of you guys may make excuses for him because he's naturally gifted or athletic. However, from what I see, Volkanovski became champion through hard work and determination, and he ended up building a successful career out of himself. Again, he did this while starting at the age of 22. So what is your excuse? Not saying you'll become a champ in the UFC or anything, but you can use MMA to help improve and change your life, whether you just want to lose weight or end up building discipline or end up pursuing a career. That is why I created Beginners MMA HQ, a community designed for those who want to join an MMA gym and train but don't know how to. And the first 10 people that join right now, I will help you out for free. So check out the community, link is in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and remember, my boys, stay active, stay busy, and most of all, stay hungry.